listening to Give God 90, where we're not afraid of the tough biblical questions, because we will dig through the language, the culture, and the history to find the truth revealed in the words of our Creator.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for letting us spend some time with you today. I am being extremely closely monitored today because of the subject, I guess. But
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
The last couple of times I've done the introduction, I have forgotten to mention, and I need to remember to do this more often. If you have the free Spreaker account, you can leave us a comment in the chat section. It is open if you want to leave us a note. That's absolutely fine. What are you listening to? You don't know. Okay. I had a note this week, and I'm not sure what part of the United States this person lives in, but apparently their HOA doesn't allow vegetable gardens. But they've been growing herbs since they've lived there. And nobody knows because, herbs flower. And, of course they're ornamental. So there is a way to do that. It's kind of interesting that folks come up with ways to do things, even when you live in a place where you're not supposed to be doing it.
That's right.
And that happens all over the world. I was speaking to a group yesterday, and they live in an area of the world that is primarily Muslim. Christians are treated very, very badly there, and but they keep doing what they're doing. So it's kind of interesting. And they were actually out on a rooftop. They're like, here we are. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Just do what you are able to do. If you are new here, we appreciate that. If you've been here for a while, we really appreciate that too. You should visit Give God 90. It'll tell you all about the books and everything else that's going on. When I was thinking this week about what I wanted to say today, sometimes you have a little bit of a problem coming up with exactly how you want to say it. And do you want to say it like that, or do you want to say it a different way? And sometimes you just kind of you got to be blunt. So we're going to start on kind of a dark note, okay? And I'll give you that warning. It's a little dark in the beginning.
The Lord said to Moses, "Soon you will die. Get Joshua and come to the meeting tent. I will command him." So Moses and Joshua went to the meeting tent. The Lord appeared at the meeting tent in a cloud. The cloud stood over the entrance of the tent. And the Lord said to Moses, "You will die. You will soon die. Then these people will not be loyal to me. They will worship the foreign gods of the land they are entering. They will leave me. They will break the agreement I made with them. Then I will become very angry at them. I will leave them. I will turn away from them, and they will be destroyed. Many terrible things will happen to them. Then they will say, 'God is not with us.' That is why these terrible things are happening. I will turn away from them then. They have done wrong. They have turned to other gods." Deuteronomy 31, 14 through 18.
Okay. So Moses is old, right? He's 120 years old. He's going to die alone with his Creator in the wilderness without entering the land. So the Creator gives him some really great news, right? Hey, Moses, everybody's going to forget me. They're going to worship other gods, and they're even going to do worse than that. He goes on basically to say, I'm going to let them do whatever they want to do. And I'm going to let them go wherever they want to go. And they're going to blame me for all their troubles. Yeah.
That hasn't changed.
That hasn't changed a bit. Yeshua Jesus is recorded in Matthew 24:24 as saying, For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders that would deceive even the people the Father selects, if it's possible. Well, isn't that exactly what we see in the world today? Just look around. Watch the news, read the papers, hear it on the radio, whatever, however you get your news. And I've explained in previous episodes exactly how this happened, and even Inheriting Lies contains a lot of the examples of how and why this is happening. But because so many people would rather hold on to their empty traditions and their useless idols, they refuse to receive the blessings that the Creator wants to give them. Some of them actually do this because they like being miserable. They like to be able to say, I don't know why God has abandoned me, right? Just like he said they would. Well, I can tell you this much. He did not abandon you. You abandoned him. You are the one who chose to follow the unholy while you're claiming to be holy. You chose to ignore his instructions and go your own way. You chose to worship other gods and idols. You even made the choice to walk in the way of the world and not in the word of the Creator himself. And sadly, you taught others to do the same, even your children. You call people who follow the Bible ignorant, old-fashioned, or crazy. And you do it to make yourself feel better about your sin. You choose to ignore the Sabbath or change it to when it suits you. There's a big one. You have convinced people that God not only allows sin, he encourages people to sin. You made the choice because it was easy, or you thought somebody who was smarter than you knew more than you did, so you followed them. You followed man. You made the choice. Even though you might have heard something coming from a pastor or a rabbi or somebody else, and it didn't sound quite right, but you chose to follow the crowd. Pastors, you make the choice every day to be entertainers instead of instructors because you want money or prestige. Even rabbis I know make a choice because they don't want to stand in the way of, as Fiddler on the Roof puts it, tradition. All of these choices were told to Moses just before he died. And then the Creator tells Moses to write down a song. Yeah, he was a songwriter too.
Give ear, O heavens, and I will speak. Hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. Let my teachings fall like rain, and my speech settle like dew, like gentle rain on new grass, like showers on tender plants. For I will proclaim the name Jehovah. Ascribe greatness to our God. He is the rock. His work is perfect. All his ways are just. A God of faithfulness without injustice. Righteous and upright is he. Deuteronomy 32, 1 through 4.
Did you catch that, folks? Did you catch what is written there? I will proclaim the name Jehovah. He is the rock. Let that sink in for a moment. He goes on about how the people will fall away. In verse 18, he writes, you ignored the rock who brought you forth out of Egypt. You forgot the God who gave you birth. He will allow disasters to plague them, and he will let them wallow in their own self-righteous filth. That's really what he's saying there. But he finishes his song this way.
Jehovah will judge his people and have compassion on his servants when he sees that their strength is gone and no one remains, slave or free. He will say, "Where are their gods, the rock in which they took refuge, which ate the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offerings? Let them rise up and help you. Let them give you shelter. See now that I am he. There is no God beside me. I bring death and I give life. I wound and I heal, and there is no one who can deliver from my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and declare, as surely as I live forever, I will sharpen my flashing sword, and my hand grasp it in judgment. I will take vengeance on my adversaries and repay those who hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood, while my sword devours flesh, the blood of the slain and the captives, the heads of the enemy leaders. Rejoice, O heavens, and let all God's angels worship him. Rejoice, O nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his children. He will take vengeance on his adversaries and repay those who hate him. He will cleanse his land and his people. Deuteronomy 32:36-43.
So there's hope, because our Creator has given us a way back to him through repentance. The choice is yours to make. You can turn around, stop following the unholy to follow the holy. You can choose his way over your way. Now, I know there's some Christians out there saying, but you're leaving out Jesus. The same Jesus who said, pick up your cross and follow me. Now, do you think he would go his own way? Or do you think he would go the Father's way? Would he ignore the Father to go down his own path, to eat unclean food? Do you think Jesus would bow down to another man? Or do you think Jesus would do anything to offend the Father? If you really want to follow him, prove it, Christian. Prove it. If you really want to follow him, do what he did when he was faced with trouble or he was faced with temptation. What did he do? He found the place where it was written, and he did exactly what was written. He didn't make excuses. He didn't need a reason for failure. He simply did what was written and made the choice to be obedient to Jehovah and not to man and not to the ways of the world. So don't try to convince me that he changed anything, because that would mean he was blasphemous. He didn't change a thing. In fact, in Matthew 5:17, he says, don't think I've come to change anything. I didn't come to change anything. I came to make sure you understood it and complete it. And what do you do today? What do? You choose to go your own way and say, this is holy, when it's not. Yeah, if you love your traditions more than your Creator, that's your choice. You can do that. But we choose his ways over our ways. And we don't get it perfect. We know we're not going to. And even though we don't get it perfect, we still make mistakes. And we know that he's like, okay, at least you're trying. You're not out there following emptiness. You're trying. At least somebody down there is trying to live the way I designed them to live. And one day, we look forward to hearing the words, well done, welcome home. Are you going to hear those words? Is that what you're going to hear? Well, not if you continue unrepentant, letting your pride stand in the way, and that's your choice too. You need to make a wise decision. Don't fall for the way of the world. You need to stand on the words of the rock of all creation. because those words are what bring life. Going your own way and ignoring those words bring death. And yeah, that is a little dark. That is a little frightening, I hope. Because sometimes you need to be blunt. Sometimes you need to understand that going your own way, well, how's it working out for you so far? You know, we have this kind of ongoing joke about people who work in retail, and they, the cashiers who stand there and ring things up, check you out, and they look at you and they need to make small talk, right? So how's your day going so far? Like they're interested, right? Mm-hmm. They don't care. They need something to say because it's their job to make your experience in that particular store enjoyable. But I'm asking it in a different way. I'm asking you to think about how your life's going so far if you're going your own way. Is it working? Probably not as well as you'd like it to. You see, only a very few people who are actually committed to the destruction of mankind are the ones who appear successful, whether they become rich or they become famous, whatever it might be. And they do that in their destructive way. But the people who are attempting to remain faithful, even though they're ignorantly following the ways of the world, even though they're, they say, yeah, I want to follow God, but everybody tells me I have to do this. They have a desire, and the desire of their heart is to follow the Creator, but they're confused. They're the ones who, they're going their own way and things aren't working for them. Because they don't have a desire to destroy mankind. They just don't know or haven't been taught how to follow the Creator. Because everything they listen to, everything they hear, if you get on YouTube or any of these Christian television stations or radio stations, what do you hear? You hear pastors, right? You hear pastors who are saying, oh, you can be rich if you just reach out and grab it. Oh, you can do this if you just do that. You can have whatever you want if you pray in this particular way and send me most of your money. There's too many pastors out there like that. You don't have to send them your money. I think there was something I wanted from a particular ministry a long time ago. And it was a lamp or something. It was something silly. And at the time, it was kind of expensive. I think it was like $5, which was expensive, 40 some years ago. But I sent them the $5 plus shipping and handling. Got my lamp, and it was like half the size of the one that they showed, and didn't work. And I thought, well, this is crazy. I don't even know what ever happened to that silly thing. It probably broke, or I threw it away, or just because it was so disappointing. And that's the way a lot of people react when they get things. They're promised great things and they get something small. And then you have the people who settle for okay things when your Creator wants to give you something great. Why would you do that? Why would you settle for the way of the world, which is destructive, when you could settle for something, or I shouldn't say settle, when you could reach out for something great that the Almighty wants to give you? Examine those things. Is the way you're going working for you? It probably isn't. If it was going that well for you, chances are you wouldn't be searching for somebody to tell you that, hey, what you're doing might not be working for you. And the answer is in front of you. It's been there the whole time, hiding in plain sight. And all it takes is living the way you're designed to live. It's that simple. It's that easy. And I know a lot of times we talk about if you live the way that you're designed to live, it'll improve your life and it'll improve the lives of the people around you. I've made a little kind of, I don't want to say discovery, but I noticed something. When you live the way you're designed to live, not only do you benefit, the people around you benefit, but the very land you live on benefits. And if you don't believe me, try it. If you do things the way you're designed to do them, your gardens will grow better. They don't have a choice. It's just the way the world is designed to work, even in this cursed earth that we live on. We've got stuff, and it's not a lot yet, but we have things planted that, we kind of hoped would grow, not knowing what the ground was like where we're at. And so far, everything we've planted has jumped. What's the word I want to use here? I mean,
it's more than doubled in size in a month.
Yeah. It's huge. Well, I won't say huge, but
considering the size it was when we
planted, size it was, when we planted, your rosemary, you've gotten 4 cuttings off of that so far? Big cuttings. I don't know how much lavender you've got. All of the herbs that we've planted. And we didn't plant any vegetables this year for a couple of reasons. I just kind of wanted to see what the growing seasons would be like. Get a feel for it, kind of spy out the land, if you will. But when you do things the way the Creator designed you to do them, everything improves. Not just your well-being, not just your comfort. Oh, I feel so much better. No, everything. Everything improves. And it does so because, that's the way you glorify the Almighty. By being that example. And when the example is that you're even the few things that you grow in the garden jump and grow. And, I look out at the hayfield and I go, well, that was cut just a few weeks ago and it's already 2 feet tall. And we had a pretty hot dry spell for a while. Everything improves when you live the way you're designed to live. But that choice is yours. You can either do it or you can reject it. That's up to you. My hope is that you will try it and figure it out. And if you need help with that, that's what GiveGod90.com is for. It will guide you into that just very slowly. Easy things to do, easy changes to make every day to help. So give it a try. See what happens. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you any money. put it that way. But it costs you something you might not want to pay. You have to change. A little bit at a time. But there again, you probably didn't get where you are now overnight. So give it a try. See what happens. You don't have anything to lose, but you do have everything to gain. So until Thursday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thursday.
We wish you many, many blessings, everyone.
Yes, be blessed.